My son spent a year restoring his grandfather's motorcycle. His cousin sold it for $800, and my brother told me boys will be boys. My dad died when Owen was 14. What he left behind was a 1979 Honda CB75. Oh, that hadn't run since 2004, sitting under a tarp in a garage that smelled like gasoline and mildew. Owen asked if he could have it. I said yes because I couldn't stand the thought of selling it, and because my son had just lost the only man who'd ever been consistently kind to him. He didn't know anything about engines. He learned. He watched repair videos with a notebook open, wrote everything down in that terrible handwriting of his, called salvage yards in 3 counties looking for a carburetor bank. He worked at a car wash on weekends, and every dollar went into that bike. Points, coils, a new wiring harness he soldered himself, and redid twice because the first one wasn't clean enough for him. He stripped the tank down to bare metal, and painted it the original candy brown by hand, in our driveway, under a shop light, in October. It took him 14 months. He was 16 when it started, 17 when it fired up. I filmed it on my phone. He sat there with his hand on the tank and cried, and I pretended I was checking the video. My brother Dale has a son, Bryce, 19. Bryce has never held a job longer than a season, and has never once been told no in a way that stuck. He came by that Thanksgiving, saw the bike in the garage, and got very quiet. Then he asked how much it was worth now. Owen said he didn't know and didn't care. It wasn't for sale. Bryce said he should let him ride it. Owen said no, it's not insured for anyone but him. Bryce said, it's not even yours, it's Grandpa's. Owen said Grandpa gave it to him. Bryce said, Grandpa's dead. That was the whole conversation. I should have paid more attention to it. In January, I went to Ohio for 4 days for my aunt's funeral. Owen was at his job. Dale had a key to our house because he'd been feeding our cat since 2019. I got a text from Owen at 6:40 on a Tuesday that was just a photo of the empty garage. Bryce had come by with a friend and a truck ramp. He listed it on Facebook Marketplace as a project bike needs work for $900. Took $800 cash from a guy 2 towns over. And by the time we knew anything, the bike had been resold and split into parts. Tank gone. Engine gone. The seat my father reupholstered in 1998 gone. I drove to Dale's house that night. He answered the door with a beer in his hand and looked at me like I was interrupting something. I told him what Bryce had done. He said he already knew. I said, you knew and you didn't call me? He said, it's a pile of metal, Rachel. Dad's been gone 3 years. Owen was never going to ride it anyway. I told him Owen rode it every weekend since June. I told him it took 14 months. I told him the number, $800. And Dale actually laughed because it was funny to him that it went so cheap. Bryce came into the hallway behind him. No fear at all. He said he was hoarding it. Half of that bike should have been my dad's anyway. Dale nodded along. He said Owen had been rubbing it in everyone's face all year, posting videos, showing off, acting like he was better than the rest of the family because he could turn a wrench. I said that's theft. That's a felony. That's my son's property and my father's motorcycle. Dale said, you are not calling the police on your nephew over a bike. I said, watch me. He said if I did that, I'd be done with this family and every single person would take his side, and I'd be the one who tore everything apart over some junk in a garage. I looked at my brother, the one who taught me to drive, who carried Dad's casket with me, and I understood that he'd sat on this for 4 days and had never once considered telling me because he'd already decided it didn't matter. I filed the report the next morning. Bryce had used his own Marketplace account, his own phone number, and had messaged the buyer with a photo taken inside my garage. It took the detective 9 days. Dale called me 40 times. I didn't answer any of them. Restitution came through in May. $800 from the sale, plus receipts Owen had kept in a folder since he was 16 because my father had taught him to keep receipts. $3,400 more. Owen didn't want another bike. He used it for a welding certification. He's 20 now. He builds custom exhaust for a shop downtown, and he's good. Good enough that people ask for him by name. He has a photo of my father taped inside his toolbox lid. I have not spoken to my brother in 18 months, and I sleep fine.